Do you realize, ladies and young women that are coming up, you teenagers, you preteens, you millennials, do you realize that you are beautifully and wonderfully made? Do you believe that more importantly? Well, today's guest I'm having on, I'm so excited. This is my jam, talking about authenticity, worth, and I'm so ecstatic, so stoked to have the incredible Tamisha Ottley, who's going to be joining us today, talking about the very thing, right? The power of our stories, that we are more than enough. And I want you to know today, you may have heard that before. Maybe for some of you, you've never heard that. But more importantly, I want you to believe it. Because today she's going to share with you her journey, what she's doing to make an impact on the women around the world. And so how you can live and know that you're authentic. You can create more self-love. You can literally walk in the purpose that God has destined you to do. But more importantly, who he's made you to be. And be proud of it. To be happy about that. So join me right now as I bring our incredible guest on the Cassandra Charles Show for the first time. And once again, we are making history here. I'll tell you all about that, but she's going to share her journey with us. So stay tuned as we host today's show, You Are More Than Enough with Tamisha Ottley. And please stand by. Let's see here. It should be coming in. There we are. Hello, Tamisha. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for being on the show today. OMG, my goodness. I've been so excited about having you on the show. Let's just talk a little bit about how we ended up getting connected. I think it's
Okay.
unique. Um,
Yep.
listen, we've got so much to talk about, you guys, because first of all, I want you to share, Tamisha, who you are, your journey with our audience, and then we're going to dive right into the conversation, and we'll share with a little bit about making history. So, if you would, Tamisha, can you share with the audience a little bit about who you are, your background, and what it is you do, and your purpose of being here?
Okay. Well, I'm Tamisha Ottley, and I am from the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm an island girl. I love the arts. I love theater. I love psychology. I love helping people. I love God. I love Jesus. And most importantly, I love helping women and young people realize who they are and what God has said about them. So that's what I'm here doing. I recently launched God's Beautiful Girls, which is a faith-based organization that helps to empower and inspire young women and girls, basically, to embrace their true beauty and to accept who God says they are.
I love it. And I think your main message is that you are more than enough. Like
Yes.
women, the young ladies are more than enough. Okay,
Yes.
so I don't look, y'all. Y'all already know how the show goes. Like we have format, but we don't have format because we like to keep it we really like to keep it authentic here. So let's talk about this, Tamisha. First of all, let's start with your journey. You're from the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, which I did have the honor of going to the island a couple of years ago and just fell in love. And I'm a Jamaican diehard chick from the Caribbean. Even though I'm from the States, I'm really a Jamaican on the inside, y'all. I know y'all don't believe that. I'm really a Jamaican.
Okay.
Meaning I'm American, I'm Jamaican, because I got exposed to the culture and the people very early when I was 19 in my Jamaican family in Los Angeles. The Campbells, one of my besties is Juliet Campbell and Campbell Cook, and so I just love the people of the Caribbean, no matter what parts of the Caribbean they're from. And so to have you on here, and then how we ended up connecting, you talking about purpose. Let's
Yes.
tap into that.
Yes.
There was a gentleman that apparently been watching on the show,
Yes.
right? Watching me do the show, right? And I saw that he was a speaker and he reached out to me. So tell us about that gentleman and what made him decide to say, hey, you need to get in contact. Tell me the skinny on that, because I still don't know.
Well, our mutual friend is Lance Smith, and Lance owns Clay Smile Entertainment. He's a phenomenal speaker, dancer, teacher, like basically everything all in one person. He's like the Energizer Bunny all wrapped up into one. So I've known him for a couple of years. And so once I launched this business, he was like, okay, yeah, I want to support you. And you should connect with Cassandra because both of you love God. And I think that it will be a wonderful like connection. And so here we are.
I know. And it took us a little bit of time to make this happen. I think we started this conversation, I want to say maybe like 2.5 months ago, give or take, something around there. Don't quote me, but somewhere around that time, guys. So we stayed with it. And I just think this is such a great timing. So do tell us about your journey. Like, why God's Girls? How did that all come into play? So share with our audience just a little bit about, and hey guys, she's got her own audience. She's got her own following. So I can't wait to see some of her peeps popping in and talking. There he is. Speaking of Lance. Hey, Lance.
There he is.
I love this too, and it is amazing because we have Tamisha and you wore the conduit, if you will, to make this happen.
Yes.
So thank you for reaching out and saying, hey, you need to put my girl on here. Now those weren't his words, those are mine. Those are my words, okay? But basically, he said very good things about you, and of course, I had to just have to do my homework and did my homework, and I was like, yeah, I would love to have her on the show. And so thank you, Lance, for making that purpose connection. Can't wait to have you on the show too. OMG, my goodness. Okay, so Tamisha, girl, how did this all happen for you?
Okay, so this has been a journey like in the making for at least 10 years now. So I was involved with that organization, City of Peace. Shout out to City of Peace. And so they take teenagers from DC, Maryland, and Virginia and turn their life stories into a play. And while I was volunteering and working with them, I was their stage manager. Like just hearing the stories of what these teenagers and preteens were going through, it was literally breaking my heart. Like, hearing them dealing with eating disorders and different body image issues. And I was like, wait a minute, you're only 12, you're 13. Wait a minute, what's happening? So like, I would just, literally be heartbroken after each session. And I was like, well, God, how can I help these young girls? So it started out really helping young ladies ages 9 to 12, 13, like when your body is starting to change and you're starting to feel like, oh my God, I'm not, looking like such and such. And then with the influence of social media and with the influence of mainstream media basically telling you if you're not a size 2, if you're not, this and that, the other, then somehow you're not beautiful, to really just kind of rewrite the story and really explain the truth that you are beautiful, that when God created you, it was not a mistake. It wasn't because he didn't have anything to do. He created you with a specific purpose on mind. He knew the exact like timing on the earth. And he was like, yep, I need this particular gift in the earth at this particular time. I'm going to wrap it in this particular package because, this is what I need right now. So like the intricacy of his timing and just how he strategically makes each and every one of us, like our fingerprints are unique. Like, I mean, just the level of detail that he pays attention to each and every one of us. So it's like, we're trying to fit into this mold, but God is like, no, I created you unique. There is no mold. There is no. It's all beautiful to me. So that's how it started. But then as I got older and then, with different women and we're going through different things in our lives, I started to see that a lot of women, we started to forget who we are because of the experiences that we've had, because of the abortion, because of the abuse, because of the bad relationship, because you got fired, because whatever the situation is, you feel that somehow you're discredited, you're disqualified, and God somehow can't use you anymore. And somehow like we believe the lie and it's not true. So hence here we are today, God's Beautiful Girls. And it's not just for girls, it's for all women of all ages, because if you are a daddy's girl, you will always be a daddy's girl, no matter how old you are. You will forever be a daddy's girl. And I was a daddy's girl. My physical dad's no longer here, but my heavenly Father still is. So it's like you're yes. So we are all God's girls. And it shows possession, ownership. We belong to him, and he declares that we're beautiful. our foundational scripture is Psalms 139:14. I will praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Like just fearfully and wonderfully made. So
God,
that's where we are.
I love it. I love it. And that's the thing. So first of all, thank you for sharing like how this all happened. When you said, you were part of doing the stage play in this, and these are girls' lives that are on the stage play, that's mind blowing in and of itself. Their journey, their experience put on the stage play and bringing people through what happened to them and then having hope on the other side. So thank you for sharing that. So from your own personal experience, we all have our own journey. And
Mhm.
I would say the last, I would say now 10 years that I've really been working on of self-acceptance of Cassandra, like self-love. I remember the time that I didn't even like myself. So if I didn't like myself, I just didn't even love myself. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way there's certain things about my body, my hair, just my learning disability, if you would, they would call it, or whatever. So I went through all this stuff, like all of us do. Everybody has something. That's the thing. That's what puts us on the same playing field, that we all have our stuff, our ish. Those things that we have been told that we're not more than enough or that we're not enough. And then those insecurities that come over time through experiences that mold and make us and all this kind of stuff. And then God comes in through relationship. Thank you, Jesus. And his word, and comes in and do a new thing in us, right? Because that's who he is. And then if we would just accept and receive what he's done for us, and then learn to love ourselves. And it is a journey. Nobody gets there alone.
It is a journey.
Like I said, here it is. I'm 50, right? And I'm like at the place finally I just feel so free, and I love being myself, and I'm not trying to be anybody else. I'm not looking. I love my size. I love my color. I love, my makeup in terms of my personality and how I'm wired and the way I think and the way I act. And so there's no more this struggle of wanting to be like somebody else, and accepting that I'm more than enough. And so when we get people like yourself that are doing the work, that pioneering effort to reinforce what God has already said, that's amazing, that the impact that you're making. So tell me what's happening over there at God's Beautiful Girls. I mean, my God, when I went over to the website, and I was expecting, when I hear the word girls, I'm thinking, oh, there's teenagers, preteens and all that jazz. I get over there and I'm looking at the t-shirt and the apparel line and all that jazz, and I'm seeing all these beautiful women. So I had to do some more reading, and I was like, oh, it is. All of us are his girls, as you said. So tell us a little bit about that. What made you decide to start that effort?
Well, for me personally, my journey, so I've always been, I guess, a thick and curvy girl. So I've always struggled with, my hips, my thighs, and I'm just like, never been a size 2, never been a size 0, and all this other stuff. So like going to the store for me would actually be like a situation. Like it would be depressing, borderline depressing, to try and buy clothes, because like the clothes you like, they don't have it in your size, it doesn't fit. And then, if you have to go into the plus sizes, that's another layer of, oh my God, I'm a plus size now. No offense to the plus size people, but like that first time when you have to go into the plus size, like, wait a minute, this is like, oh my God, what is happening? So like just doing all that. And even when I was younger, like it's a good thing. Like God knows what he's doing, because like if I was rich, my thing was like, if I was rich, I wanted a butt reduction, and I wanted to get like liposuction. Like I wanted to do all these things to like create this perfect body, or what I thought was perfect, because I was like, oh, my butt is too big. And then, we did not have the money for butt reductions. So, but
no butt reduction there, sir.
No, but I mean, it is part of who I am. And like, as much as I feel like it's like, whatever, most people are like, oh my God, I wish I had a butt like yours. And Obviously guys are like, yeah, that's where it's at. So, it's very, yeah, tricky. So now, just trying to embrace and accept, that. And then I went natural in my hair, I think maybe 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And so that whole process was a process just to like even embrace the fact that, okay, we're going through this transition stage where we're half Afro, half straight, and we're not really sure what's going on. Or, just having the Afro out, and people are like, well, why don't you have your Afro? I have a lot of hair. You can't really see it right now, but it is a lot of hair. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. So I'm not going to just have it out here because it's going to be like, oh, you think you're grown. Okay.
You gotta train it. I got on a little friendship right now. For those of you guys know, I like to change up my look. And so my hair is natural. I went through a serious, let's just talk about that if you would, because I don't talk about my little journey very much of how I just didn't like the way I was built up, what got me was.
Oh, wait, let me interrupt you for 1 second. You said that you were 50. You do not look it. So I just want to say that.
Oh, well, thanks, sis. Inquiring purpose needs to hear that. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't even know what 50 feels like in terms of physical. I feel very much the same way I was when I was in my 20s. Sometimes, 17 kicking. But the thing is that I think it's a mindset too. But I love the fact, here's the beauty of being 50 or 40 something or 30 something or 60 something plus, is that we got the wisdom and the experience.
Yeah.
Behind us. So now I can appreciate both, you know what I mean? The youthfulness, but with the experiences and the wisdom. So I just think, 40s and 50s and 60s, baby, that's just where it's at. I mean, come on, don't get me started in that piece. But that's a whole nother subject for just another segment right there. So let me say this, Tamisha. I used to struggle with, I remember watching, this is back in the 70s, watching Good Times and Thelma. I remember Thelma. Okay. Yep. If you haven't watched The Good Times, those of you who may come from a different background of skiing and all that jazz, go watch The Good Times. It's on YouTube. Okay, check it out. And then you'll know what I'm talking about. Look at Thelma. Thelma had this built, and she was just, to me, her and Jane Kennedy back in the day, just, Pamela, I think it's Pamela Lewis or Pamela Davis. I forgot the chick's name from oh God, it's the 70s. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, my point is that Thelma, I remember her. Thelma had this Coca-Cola bottle body, and that, Brothers was like, that's it. And Cassandra thought that she was going to be built up like that. Did Cassandra got to a certain age and she didn't have no hips. And I just didn't have a big kadunky dunk. I just had a cuh. I don't have a kadunk. I don't even get the word donk out.
Oh boy.
You know what I mean? And so I used to have, there were parts of my body that I really liked, but then there were other parts of my body I was like, you know what? Like you said, if I had that loot, I would have been like increasing my friendships to, a D or something. I don't know. I didn't think about the butt part, but I don't think they was rocking it back like that in the late 80s and early 90s. I don't know. But the point was I wanted to have a different shaped body, and I didn't think I had the same type of value. Look, here's the thing about the beauty of the beholder. Here it is. Someone likes your figure, period.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody loves your shape. When I went to Jamaica for the first time in different parts, even when I went to St. Thomas, was a different experience when I first went to Jamaica, because I was told, in Jamaica, they like the curviness, And so I know that, right? I was kind of narrow, and I just thank God I had a little texture and tones and stuff like that, but I just was not built up that way. But when I started accepting how my body was shaped, and it really kind of came through a friend of mine who male friend, who just kind of shared, listen, you're not, just because you don't have the typical, Black woman's body shape, you have a nice figure. And he began to compliment me on what that looked like and help me to see that, what, your body is beautiful. You got a nice shape. He's like, every man doesn't want, 36, 24, 36. They want a 2 or they want a 22. Because I went to Jamaica and they was like, sisters was like, had these nice big men and they had these shapes and sizes, was much larger than myself, but they were rocking it and they were pulling Dexter. and I didn't have
Mhm.
nobody on my arm. So,
Mhm.
so my point is that there's something for everybody's eye. Everybody
Yep.
has a different
Yep.
liking to that. Let's check this out. If we would, Tamisha, people are chiming in. This is what Lachey Hughes says. I love me some me. My life
Mhm.
struggles was always comparing myself to others. It was looking at others' education. I know, me too, Lachey. But
Yeah.
God gave me a degree in wisdom. OMG,
All
my
right now.
girl, she about to take me out. Y'all know how I need to get my cloth and I don't have my digital cloth. Jesus. And then she said, where I can do and be all I can be. I am who I am, more than enough. Come on,
Yes.
Lachey, in the
Yes.
house, in the space. And then I love the way Cindy Lou says, we're all together. Lovely. That is the word.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
all together lovely. And so we just need to accept more of who we are. Period.
Yeah.
Because why, Tamisha?
Because we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Come on.
And he didn't make a mistake. He did not make a mistake. He
He did
didn't
not
make a
make a
mistake.
mistake. So
And even in our journey with where we are, like we have a You Are Enough hoodie and t-shirt. And I felt like it was important to do a specific shirt that says You Are Enough, because as women in your late 20s and your 30s, especially around now the holiday time, some loving family member is going to be like, well, why you don't have kids, and why you don't have a man, and why you still single, as if those things, not having those things, make you somehow less of a woman or less than,
can we
because you
talk
don't
about
have
that?
an additional thing.
Let's park right there for a moment. Let's park right there for a moment because I am supersonic single. So supersonic single means I've never been married. I don't have any children. I have godchildren. I got a whole tribe of godchildren, which I love being a godmother, and I love being an auntie. So I've got a little tribe of nieces and nephews, and I got a tribe of grandchildren. Grandchildren, Jesus, did I say grandchildren? If my husband got children, that's probably why they're going to call me grandmother. Okay, just hit me. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, I digress. So come back. I'm super single, meaning that I've never been married, no children. And I get that question. I used to get that question a lot, and I still do. And at first it didn't bother me, but after a while, I was like, I'm
Yeah.
feeling some type of way
As
when
if
you ask me that question. So
as if our identity as a woman is not complete unless it's joined to somebody else. You're not complete unless you're somebody's wife or you're somebody's mother. Like, that's not how it works. Like, yes, those things are wonderful, and yes, motherhood is wonderful. Yes, being a wife is wonderful, but being yourself by yourself is wonderful too. So like, we have to combat that societal pressure of you need to be this, this, and this, because we're operating under God's timetable. Because obviously we all had to plan, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna graduate from high school, I'm gonna meet my sweetheart in college, and after college we're gonna get married, and then we're gonna have the kids, and then we're gonna, like, we all had the plan, and then it didn't work out.
we all have to plan. I just knew 21, I'm going to be married by 25. I
Yep.
have my children.
Yep.
I thought by now I'd be an empty nester. I
Yep.
just, and it did not happen like that. It had some foolishness laced with it, but it didn't happen for me. It just didn't happen like that. So
Right.
I'm glad you're sharing that with women because,
And then also we have to be thankful for it didn't happen like that, because remember who you were with when you were in your 20s and when you were 25 and when you were 30, and you were like, whoo, I dodged a bullet on that one, Jesus, because you thought, yes, this is the one, but now you're like, whoa, yeah, no, Lord, thank you, because
thank God, no. God, no. He know. I'm so grateful. As my
and not
best
just
like
the
God,
partners that
no.
we choose, but like we ourselves have changed and evolved, and the things that we did when we were 20 years old we're not doing 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later. So like, we have evolved as well. So yeah.
Yeah, girl. But and the thing, I'm liking what you're saying there because even if, I'm so grateful that I did not make those opportunities when to be married when somebody said I want to marry you. And if I was that type of desperate chick, right, I would have done that. But the thing was, number one, I wasn't desperate. Number two, I just, in all honesty, just knew you wasn't one. So I had to stop wasting time. So it transitioned out of that. But my point is that I would not have been good for him.
Yeah.
Had because I'm not the same woman that I was at 20
Right.
and 30, right? And
Yep.
not only that, it wasn't destined for me to be with that individual. You
True.
know, that's the bottom line. So no matter how much of this greatness or this goodness that we all carry, if it's
Yeah.
not that timing or the right one and timing, then you can get yourself in a little pickle.
Yep.
Some
And then we mess it up now because we not only mess up our lives, we mess up their lives too.
else's too, exactly. So I'm so glad that it didn't work out because I would have messed up their life as well as they would have messed up mine. Or I
Yeah.
should say, we allowed each other.
Yeah.
We allowed each other to mess each other's life up.
Pretty
Ooh,
much.
good stuff. Okay, so this is delicious. I knew it would be. You know why I've been looking forward to this conversation? It's like Christmas
Mhm.
morning, only it's after Thanksgiving. So,
It's after Thanksgiving.
and I'm so thankful.
I am truly thankful. But I mean, it took me a while to even get to this place because, I had to deal with, passing the 25-year milestone and being like, oh, wait, I'm not married and I don't have kids. And then it's like you hear people like, well, you better hurry up. That biological clock is ticking, da, 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 da. And so now my answer to that is, well, look, Sarah had a baby when she was 75. So my God can do whatever, whenever. So we're not putting no time restrictions and no time limits on him and what he can do. So it's not so much about, okay, you got to do it at this time and get this age. It's like, no, when the time is right, it will happen. And then if it doesn't happen biologically, you can adopt children. There's different ways that, you can bring children into your lives. So like, we have to get rid of this mindset that there's only like this particular path because God is not like that. He has 7 billion people on the planet he has to manage and think about every single day.
Every day. Yes, all the time. And he has conversations with all of us at once, and he knows how to keep up with the conversations in us. He's just that incredible. Oh my God. Right. Girl, you give me happy.
And so, to manage all those people and then to, make sure that everybody does what they're supposed to do, because like I said, I was probably one of those disobedient kids. Like I was supposed to start this 10 years ago. So
hey, this show was supposed to be 10 years ago.
Right. But see, now if you weren't where you're supposed to be, you didn't accept the call when he told you okay, I'm gonna tell you, go down this street, and you're like, no, I don't want to. All right, well, you're gonna delay your own blessing because I have the things lined up for you. If you don't want to go the way that I told you to go, then I mean, I got eternity. It's on you, basically. It's just what you want to do.
I got eternity is basically on. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
That's a t-shirt. I got eternity, girl. Hey, girl, do something with that. That's something. Oh, we got time. All right? Right.
That's what God says all the time. I have eternity. I'm outside of time. However, you are not. So when I tell you to do something, it would be in your best interest to do it. But we often come in with the fear. We come in with the I'm not good enough and I'm not ready and oh, I don't have the money and how's this going? We try to figure God out, and God is like, no, that's not your job. Your job is to trust me, and I'll make it happen how I see fit. You try and make sure that, okay, I gotta get the money right, I gotta get this right, I gotta hook this up, and then I'm gonna start this and I'm gonna do that. And we try and do it in our own strength. And he's like, no, I didn't ask you to do it in your strength. I just asked you to go. You try and do too much. You try and do too much. Sit down.
Get somewhere and sit down.
Sit down.
When I want you to move, you don't move.
Right.
Yeah, have a seat.
Okay. And now you try and do all the stuff. What? Go sit down somewhere.
Get your little biscuits in the seat and be still.
Pretty much. So this has been a journey in trusting and just being okay, because literally, I don't advise people to do this. Don't do this. So I literally started formed the LLC on September 10th. And exactly 30 days later, on October 10th of 2020, I launched, opened the store, and did it. So I do not advise people to start a business in 30 days, but this is where we are.
Wait a minute, hold up. So you mean let's park right here. So let me get this straight. Lance contacted me. I what is this? This is November now. I think he might have reached out to me. I don't know. I think it was October-ish. Maybe could have been September, something like that. So you just Look, y'all don't have no excuse. She just said that she started, September, October. She got the
Yep.
store. And now
Yep.
she's on November on the Cassandra Jolly Show, global
Yep.
that is. And she's
Yep.
doing this show and sharing her experience to inspire and impact women that you are more than enough. There's no excuses, ladies. God has made it for us that, that we can have in him our cake and eat it too.
Yep.
OMG, my goodness. Okay, so Tamisha, how do you
But then
feel about
that's
that?
the beauty of it. Like when you give God that yes, he accelerates stuff. Like things that are supposed to take like forever. He like, okay, finally she said yes. Let me make this thing happen. Let me do this thing quick before she changed her mind and started thinking about too much again. Let me just get in here.
I'm telling you, because I say it all the time, and I'm gonna continue to say it because this was my turning point. March 31st, 2019. I said in January, back in this time year, in 2018, that come 2019, right? I was gonna start the show come January. Looked up, it was March 31st, and it was like 3 or 4 something in the afternoon. And I looked and saw the calendar. I did not realize it was the 31st.
Mm.
And I was like, I gotta start this show right now and just press mash. As I said, it said go live, and I didn't press the button. I mashed on it. I mashed quick because I know that I should say press. I get that, but I said mash because I need to mash it. The reason why I said that, if I would have thought just a few more seconds, I would have talked myself out of it. And Tamisha would not be here today on this show. Now she might have been on somebody else's, but God had it destined, purpose, plan for her to be on this show this day. And we made the connection because she said yes, and I said yes too. And we did it imperfectly.
Right. Yes. Oh, that was a big lesson for me. Like you have to let go of the need for it to be perfect. Because I was literally up until like maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, the day of my launch. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to do it. Everything's not right. The website doesn't look good. And I'm like having this panic attack and this fit. And it was just like, okay. And then one of my friends kind of like taught me off the ledge. And he was like, okay, so if you delay a month from now, what difference is it going to make? Like what's going to change between now and a month from now? Like let go. At no point will it ever be perfect. So you just have to do it and trust God with the rest. Even with people who are like, okay, I'm waiting for this perfect time to have kids. There will never be a perfect time. Like you could save a certain amount of money. Yes, you can, make sure you have, but then there will never be a perfect time to be like, okay, in 2024, we're going to have this. Who knew what was going to happen this year in 2020? We've been in like lockdown for like 9 months now. So, nobody could predict what was going to happen in this year. But like, even with the unpredictability of the world, God is predictable and he changes not. His love for us is consistent. And he's like, look, you don't have to be perfect because I am perfect. You don't have to know the end because I know the end. I am the Alpha and the Omega. I know the beginning from the end. Okay. I put you in the story with the end in mind. This is not a surprise for me. Just relax, let go, and trust me to do the thing. Okay. That's it. That's all he's trying to say. Just let go.
Just let go. Just let go. Let go. Okay. You know what? Oh my gosh. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Giovanna is saying yes in the chat.
All right, Giovanna. Love it. That's what I'm talking about. Just let go. Why don't you? Just let go. And when you do let go, whether you do it intentionally or not, because sometimes you let go and you didn't realize you let go. Oh my God, today. Don't get me started. Okay. So thank you. Giovanna said amen. Yes. Okay, Cindy Lou is chiming in all the way from New Zealand. Hey, Cindy Lou, you know what I'm thinking, right? What you thinking when I'm thinking? You thinking? I'm thinking. All right. So, yeah, Cindy Lou thinking what I'm thinking. So she says, yes. None of us knew we were going to be there for sure. Oh, girl. Oh, that's about to take me out the game. Thank goodness that God is in charge of all things. That is so on point there, Cindy Lou. None of us knew we were going to be here for sure.
Right.
Girl,
But you know, when we started 2020, we were all like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be the year of vision." And 2020, we're getting our vision. But it did happen. We did get our vision together. It wasn't the way we thought it was gonna be, but you know, he caused us to sit down, he caused us to focus, to slow down, so that we can get our vision together, to shut out all the outside distractions, so that we can get our vision together. Because if we were so busy ripping and running and going here to this meeting and going to this sorority thing and going to this party and helping this friend and doing this church thing and doing ministry and then teaching and then going to work and then doing da 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 da, when do you have time to sit and focus and hear what he is saying? So he had to shut the whole world down so everybody could hear what's going on, because we're too busy.
Too busy. Get somewhere and sit. Now you're gonna have to sit down and sit in. How about that? Shut up, shut in. Okay, and listen. So that's what we're dealing with. But you know what? This has been a defined year. For the last, I would say probably since 2019 and now 2020, and I'm going to even transfer it on over into 2021. And that is, and I got to give this up to my girl, Nikki Roach. And there's another young lady talked about, and she's on the wide web, and she talked about making herself a priority. And when she said that, she talked about, no, I'm making myself a priority, and I'm gonna make myself first priority. Now that doesn't mean you know, I already know to keep it balanced with the God piece, because you know he is the top priority. Okay. But just right underneath there, I chose to make Cassandra a priority. When I start making myself a priority from ministry, other people's ministry, somebody else's business, this organization, helping this friend out, helping that family person out, all this. When I made Cassandra a priority, that's when I started to get traction. That's when I started to get motion, because I was always helping somebody else's vision. And barely working on mine. And I said, you know what? I'm making myself a priority. And I don't feel guilty about it. When I first heard that saying about making yourself a priority, I thought that was a little selfish. That's that old-minded thinking. Well, that's kind of selfish. But then when I had that,
actually, it's a form of self-love, because if you can't take care of yourself, you won't be able to pour into other people, because you're pouring from an empty place. And when you pour from an empty place, then the people get like jaded stuff. They don't get clean water from you. They get that muddy water, because it's coming in with the bitterness, the anger, the frustration, your tension, all that stuff is mixed in there. So it ain't a clean drink of water they're getting from you. They're getting some muddy, they're getting some water, but it's like, okay, I guess.
That's so true. So Cindy Lou taps in here. So here it is. Cindy Lou says, yes, I'll be thinking what you're thinking. Let me tell you what she's talking about. So here it is, Tamisha. Okay. So I believe in sharing my platform, right? And I know that there are times where I'm like, a guest would be a great fit on somebody else's show. So Cindy Lou has a pod show, and God is giving her Be Bold You, which is just basically on the lines of being more than enough, right? And so, I'm seeing you on my show, and I'm like, I already know what to do. And Cindy Lou popped up, and I was like, OMG, my goodness. And then, we got this little contact with each other. She's my producer sometimes for my show, but I'm thinking, she got to be on the Cindy Lou show, right? She got to be on Cindy Lou's show. So that's why I said, are you thinking what I'm thinking? So she's going to have you on her show.
Okay. Well, I look forward to meeting you, Cindy, and we'll get it started.
Yes. So she's on our, she's out of New Zealand, and so you'll be on her show. I love it. Love it. I love it when
and then she just said that, yep, you're drinking muddy waters.
Girl, she said January just got juicier, LOL. So she wants to bring you on the show in January.
Okay. All right, let's do
it. Great minds and purposes think alike. So that is great. Okay. So all right. So anywho, let's scurry back to this part here. All right. So with that being said, you guys, I have to do double time here. Let me do double time here. If you can close that, that'd be great. Thank you. So this is what we're going to do. I want to let people know. Well, I want you to share about what you're doing now that you talked to me about some things you got going on from a merchandise standpoint. Why don't you share with the audience a little bit about your website and how they can get a hold of you? Of course, we got to talk about how to get a hold of you on your social medias. So
Okay.
let's talk about that.
All right. So you can visit the website. The website is godsbeautifulgirls.com. And there you can find t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, journals, bags, accessory bags, all kinds of stuff for girls, for women, and we have a tiny section for the men too. We don't want to forget the men, because our men, especially our Black men, sometimes they're under so much pressure and they're under basically attack. So we wanted to celebrate them. We wanted to honor them and let them know that God, has a plan for them too, and they are gifted by God. So we have a section for the men. So if you have, some brothers, sisters, brothers, husband, fathers, nephews, kids, whomever, we have a men's section as well. So we have something for everybody on godsbeautifulgirls.com. And then you can also follow us on Instagram. We are God's Beautiful Girl 1 on Instagram. And then on Facebook, you can just find us at God's Beautiful Girls on Facebook. And if you want to contact me, it's info@godsbeautifulgirls.com.
Okay, info@godsbeautifulgirls.com. So let me just put that back up.
Yep.
And think of word info. I'll just do it like this, just to make sure. There we go. All right, here it is. Info@godsbeautifulgirls.com.
That's correct.
Wow. I am just, so you already know, Tamisha, I got to bring you back on the show. So after you come to Cindy Lou's show, let me know what that booking is, and I want to book you for January as well. I love it'd be perfect to have you come back in the first part of the year. But this has been wonderful. I am so psyched. And those of you who want to get the merchandise, this is the part about the history piece. Okay, always a story. So with that being,
today is Black Friday, so we have Black Friday sales.
Woo! We got the Black Friday sale going on. So with that, what you guys got to do, audience, followers, faithful listeners, and all that jazz, peeps, right? Both of myself along with Tamisha, let me go here. There is a code that you have to use to get the discount. And Demara,
so Black Friday specials for tonight. We have 2 specials going on right now. So if you buy 1 sweater, you could get a shirt 40% off, and that's big thanks. And that's your code. And then if the other special is buy 2 t-shirts and get the 3rd free, and that special is big thanks too. But specifically for the Cassandra Jolliffe show, all of your listeners for the rest of this weekend will get free shipping if they enter the code CJS. And then you get free shipping no matter what the item is. We're going to give you some free shipping. We're going to hook you up. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so with big thanks, they get what again? What's the amount they get? What?
So big thanks. You get 40% off your t-shirt when you buy a sweater.
Okay, so 40% off. Okay, so I'm just writing in here right now. All right, so that's the 40% off.
And then with big thanks too, you get buy 2 t-shirts and get the 3rd for free, which is a steal. Right now, I'm featuring the wonderfully made t-shirt. If you can see that, look, check it out. Check it out.
Look, check it out. I know that's the one I want. I can't wait to get it.
So wonderfully made and it's etched in a diamond, because when God created us, He crafted us with such precision. So I wanted something that represented how beautifully He crafted us, and something that lasted forever. And diamonds are a girl's best friend. So to craft the word wonderfully made on a diamond, and to show that to the world that I am truly wonderfully made. I am even more valuable than any diamond, the rarest diamond that you could find, that I am more valuable than that, because when God masterfully created me, He broke the mold, and there will be nobody else like me ever.
Okay, and then you get this other one. I'm going. This is for the free shipping.
Yep.
Um,
That's
so
CJS for the Cassandra Jolliffe Show. And all weekend long, you get free shipping.
get free shipping through Sunday, right?
Yes.
Through Sunday. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
here it is. I'm so excited. This is so exciting. Yes, I am. It's my first time having my own code. I love it. So yeah, there it is. Okay, bam, here it is. So big thanks. Here are the codes, guys. Is big thanks for 40% off. And big thanks to buy two, and I said that wrong, but y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what how to spell buy. Buy and get
Buy two, get
two
the third free. Yep.
and there's the CJS, okay, for the discount for free shipping through Sunday. So let me just make a
Yep.
quick change to that because I do know how to spell. It's just my getting it in there. Okay, so then I'll make that change. But yeah, that is wonderful. There we go. That is awesome. So I'm really super stoked about that. And that's 40% off. Let me make sure they understand that. All right. So guys, make sure you scurry on over to the website. All right. I'm going to put that back on the screen. And when you do go over to the website to make your purchase, you are going to get these discounts here. And I'll put this on the screen first so that you can see that. When you go over to her website, which I'm going to show in just a moment, you're going to get put in for your codes. Big thanks for 40% off. And then another one, you're going to get big thanks to get buy two and get the third free. I know that's just a stealer. And then for shipping, go ahead and put that in too with the CJS for the Cassandra Doll Show. And you're going to get free shipping through Sunday. So thank you for your generosity on that. So let me just show that.
No problem.
You
No problem.
guys got to go here.
And once you get on the website, make sure that you click on the images. There's different colors. There's different options. So a lot of people get caught up on the first option. And although it is wonderful and it's fabulous, there are more options. There are more colors. So we have different colors, different options. So click on the images for more options.
Click on the beautiful girls. I love it. Okay, so then one more thing. I think some other people are chiming in.
Yes.
Let's see. Cindy Lou here has this time to spit that stuff out. Don't need muddy waters in my life. I agree. That goes back to that.
That's right. We need to be whole. In order to help other people, we need to be whole. We need to put ourselves as a priority. We need to take care of ourselves, get the rest that we need, get the exercise that we need, just really do the things that make us better, because then we could give and serve at 100%. And instead of serving on a dead battery, we're serving at 100% and giving people the best of us because we have taken time to really pour into ourselves.
I concur. And I love what Cindy Lou, thank you for taking out the time to type that, to cut and paste, because that's how she is. She just gets in there and does that. Now she's the check master over here. Cindy Lou, tech piece expert. I go through all things Cindy Lou. So she was generous enough to put your, God's Girls up there for you, as well as the Instagram. So guys, there it is. Thank you so much, Cindy Lou, for doing that.
Thank you, Cindy Lou.
She's so sweet. That's why I love her. And that's what God does. He will have you cross paths with people who are for you, who know how to excel and move you forward. And so I'm so ecstatic about what God is doing for you, Tamisha. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. This has been historical. It's been remarkable. I know that women and men have been inspired and touched and heard God speak to them and confirm things and reveal things to them, because you decide to show up and become who you are truly made to be and wonderfully made, and that you're showing that you're more than enough and you're worth it. So I just wanted to say thank you for being on the show. I am so honored. And
thank you for having me. I am honored to be on your show. So thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. I cannot wait to have you back. And anything else you want to share with the viewers before we take off here? Anything else you want to say?
Just to remind people that they are truly more than enough. And even with the pandemic and even with all the uncertainty of the world, God also reminds us that all things work together for our good. It may not be good, it may not feel good, but ultimately he will turn it around for our good. It will ultimately turn around for our good. So we just need to trust him. We need to hold on to him and just realize that even though this thing is temporary, his love for us is eternal, and there's nothing that we could do or say that would ever negate his love for us, ever.
Girl, icing on the cake. Icing on the cake. I love it. Well, listen, you guys, thank you all so much for watching. Those of you who've been watching, those of you who are now watching because you're looking at the replay, perhaps, I want you to do me a super, super duper fave and make sure you share this message, this episode today. Whenever you see this, I want you to share your biscuits off. Share, 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 share.
Share.
Spread the love. Make sure you get this episode to your people. There's somebody that desperately has been waiting to get this message into their hearts, into their ears. So you got to share this. Make sure you spread the love by sharing this. Also, feel free. Come on. Those of you who are watching the show, that are faithful, you got another show out there. You're thinking about bringing on a speaker. I want you to purposely get in contact with Tamisha and bring her on your show. Have her at your event. Contact her in your publication. Whatever the case may be, reach out to Tamisha, okay, and get her onto your platform. I'll put it like that, because your audience needs what she has. You're going to bring value to your audience. So do that thing. All right, I think that's it for right now. But guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much once again, Tamisha, for being on the show. And as always, you guys, have significant success on purpose, your purpose. I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.